It's with great pleasure that I'm here this evening to be part of this eminent panel of personalities to discuss on the role that media has to play in sensitizing community about different health issues such as infertility, stigma in Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, I know you have heard these statistics over and over again, but globally, couples suffer from infertility, with most of these coming from developing and poor nations. In sub-Saharan Africa, untreated sexually transmitted infections are responsible for up to 85% of infertility among women seeking infertility care. Infertility and childlessness is a devastating condition, since culturally, parenthood is deemed compulsory, at least in our African settings. Infertility may have a negative impact psychologically on marital relations and may thus be associated, and is often associated, with sexual and gender-based violence. In Kenya, infertility has been a health problem for many years. It may not be spoken about, but it has been a health problem for several years. And like in many sub-Saharan African countries, we are experiencing what we call a demographic paradox, or rather what we may say, barrenness amid plenty, where high rates of infertility coexist with high rates of fertility. Stigma associated with infertility is a barrier for access to services where available, while access to assisted reproductive treatment services remain inaccessible in most African countries. Only a handful of IVF clinics are available in this country, mostly in Nairobi, and most are privately owned. In addition, inadequate number of fertility specialists to increase the reach of needed services and prohibitive costs of IVF makes it unaffordable to the majority of the country's population, as well as other major barriers to facility services. The government of Kenya is determined to ensure that the citizens of this country have access to affordable quality health care services in order to make them enjoy fully their full life. Towards this end, the government has prioritized the Big Four agenda, which directly or indirectly has impact on the health of people. Among one of these Big Four agenda is universal health care. And our rallying cry for universal health care is nobody should be left behind. But that includes couples who are suffering infertility problems. Concerning infertility and reproductive health, the ministry has developed health policies that address infertility and other reproductive health issues. The ministry has also integrated fertility prevention, care, and treatment into its policies and programs of maternal, newborn, and reproductive health. In this regard, the ministry is doing the following. It's in the process of anchoring provision of infertility treatment within the National Reproductive Health Policy of 2018 to 2028. The Ministry of Health has integrated infertility prevention, care, and treatment into its programs of maternal, newborn, and reproductive health care. The ministry continues to advocate with both national and county governments for provision of infertility prevention, care, and treatment, and to strengthen the prevention of infertility, including secondary infertility by education and invigorating screening and treatment of sexually transmitted infections. The ministry also is strengthening the development of programs that offer simple and cost-effective assisted reproductive technologies or treatment. The ministry is equally exploring the modalities of reducing the cost of IVF equipment and supplies. The ministry is as well in the process of developing a framework of legislation to guide infertility treatment components such as surrogacy, fertility practice, and its regulation. Ladies and gentlemen, infertility and its related stigma remains an ongoing national challenge, particularly for poor women in the society. And we can only overcome these challenges through strong partnership and working with the communities. I want to take this opportunity to applaud Merck Foundation for coming up with this initiative. Infertility problems, we can equate it with some of the other serious medical conditions that we see. I would call it a debilitating problem. It debilitates because of the stigma, the sexual violence, the anxiety and depression that it causes. Even though it may not be a disease that runs a pathological course as other diseases, nonetheless it is debilitating. And I think this initiative, I hope, will be able to spread. And today is about the media and the messages that they send out there. I think you play a critical role in that area. You need to unravel the problems around infertility. Today, when we were meeting with our CS, we were only a couple of men in the group, and the women were making fun of us and saying it's these patriarchs who do not want to admit that there is a problem. It is true, indeed. The problem lies equally both with men and women. And whereas in most cases, it's the women who will go and seek the services that will determine whether they are fertile or infertile, the men will never own up that the problem may be theirs. And they think that they might be able to get out of a marriage and get into another one with the hope of being able to bear children without ever looking inwards to see whether the problem is actually arising from the men. So we want to encourage this initiative and the media that are involved, that we need to look at this problem holistically. We need to be able to inform all the parties that this condition affects. We need to, and I was telling my colleague today, as far as men is concerned, I think we need to challenge them with the truth. We need evidence-based that we can throw in their faces and say, look, we know that in this country, 50% of cases of infertility is due to the men. What kind of evidence do we need? I think simple evidence, such as looking at the statistics that we have within our facilities, in the public health facilities, for example, providing information on levels of sperm counts and so on. It's possible to be able to change this thinking so that both men and women are on the same level to be able to address this problem. I therefore urge all partners to maintain this kind of partnership in order to ensure a healthy nation. And I am appealing to the media to take the lead on health initiatives and inform the citizens accordingly. I want to congratulate all of those who will be picking up an award today. I'm not sure whether it is one award or several awards, but I want to congratulate you ahead of time and urge you to continue doing the good work that you're doing across Africa. I mean, there are 17 African nations represented in this room. I think that is quite an achievement. I wish you all success as you participate in this event. Thank you.